All right, then, let's get into it.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. Hope you're doing well. Really do hope that a very muggy, a very muggy, hot day here in the kingdom. The Athletic has published 2 articles that are hopefully interesting for us Chelsea fans. On a new goalkeeper, Philip Jörgensen, Chelsea have put in a bid. And putting in bids, they are negotiating with Villarreal for a goalkeeper that could be our new number 1. We'll talk about that a little bit. And also the Trevoh Chalobah situation. Liam Twomey has written an article on that as well on The Athletic. And Chelsea defending themselves in terms of selling off academy players. They believe if you're good enough, you'll stay. So we're going to get into all of that today. Thank you for joining me. Strap yourselves in. As usual, thank you for supporting the content, liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell if you choose to subscribe to join this wonderful community of all my friends here. Yeah. Well, let's start on Trevoh, and then we will move on to the goalkeeper situation and the bid that Chelsea have made. Chelsea's decision to move on from Trevoh Chalobah, who's been left out of the club's pre-season tour, of course, of the United States, has been 12 months in the making. So, of course, this has been a big story, but it's not new, right? It's not. Axel Disasi's arrival and a deal worth, 38 million quid for Disasi. 38 million quid, man. Of Monaco, of course, from Ligue 1. Last August was the first clear signal. Of course, Wesley Fofana, £69 million, listed as 70 here, but I'm pleased we got him for under 70, technically. The signing of summer 2022, already on the books. There was no need to invest heavily in another right-sided centre-back if Chalobah was in the plans of the co-sporting directors Stuart and Winstanley. So they had cover, but they went to buy Disasi anyway. The signs have been there. You might have your own opinions on Chalobah, how good he is, but from what they think, the signs have been there for a long time. So, of course, the free agent acquisition of Tosin Adarabioyo in June was the final blow to Chalobah's hopes of extending his 17-year association with Chelsea, but it's easy to understand why the 25-year-old did not automatically see it that way, because proving his doubters wrong has been a recurring theme of his professional career. His path to the Chelsea first team did not attract fanfare afforded to more heralded Cobham Academy graduates such as Reece James, Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, others as well. He largely flew under the radar. Hudson-Odoi, really high profile. Tomori, there's loads. Under the radar on successive loans, of course, Ipswich, Huddersfield, and of course, France's Lorient. That's where he played lots of central defensive midfield stuff. He proved himself impressive in a variety of different positions without getting any headlines, like an understated player, of course. It was a surprise when Tuchel, the head coach at the time, back in 2021, gave him his big break in the UEFA Super Cup win over Villarreal 3 days before he marked his Premier League debut against Crystal Palace with a brilliant goal. Remember that superb long-range goal when he had the emotional celebration. Tuchel later lost faith in him, though, for reasons never fully explained. That is true. People like romanticize about Tuchel and the Roman Abramovich days, and now we're horrible to Trevoh Chalobah. Tuchel dumped him, bro. But Chalobah still started the finals, Carabao Cup and FA Cup. Yeah, that's good. And by the way, props to Chalobah. Did the work, went on loan. When he was dropped into the Chelsea first team side, you didn't think, oh no, we've got Chalobah in there. You were like, totally calm. It's fine, He was also a regular presence in the only positive stretch of Graham Potter's short tenure, starting 6 games and featuring in 7 matches of a 9-game unbeaten run across all competitions. That followed the Englishman's appointment in September 22. Caretaker Frank Lampard, in an unsuccessful attempt to re-establish cohesion and commitment in a fractured dressing room, restored Chalobah to the team for a miserable final stretch of the season. Yeah, that Chelsea had very much checked out, hadn't they, at that point? Pochettino had ample opportunity to discard Chalobah, who was unavailable from August to February due to a serious hamstring injury. We all thought that was the end of him anyway, didn't we? Instead, he publicly pledged to involve the defender on his return. Do you remember? He was like, no, he's not gone. I'll use him. And to his credit, Poch, he used him. he did use him. Chelsea only lost one of 13 matches Chalobah started between February and May, an agonising 1-0 defeat against Man City in the FA Cup semi-finals, lest we forget. Throughout that time, Chalobah could clearly be seen as embracing a leadership role, making his voice heard in the tunnel before games as well as group huddles. Watching the team struggle from the sidelines convinced him Chelsea were lacking personality. He played well. He came into the team and played well. The irony of Chalobah's current situation is Chimpong, the young defender, is now being cited as part of Chelsea's rationale for leaving him out of the tour squad. The 18-year-old is regarded as elite homegrown prospect on the right side of defence, which can play as a right centre-back or a right-back. So, of course, you've got Fofana, Disasi, and Tosin as the right centre-back, James, Malo Gusto, and Chimpong at right-back. Of course, Chalobah played at centre-back and right-back, so that's all his positions, right? It's worth noting as well that Maresca said it was my decision. A lot of people are speculating it's the sporting directors, and to be honest, it probably is. But he was like, I had a decision to make, so maybe he's deciding to absorb the optics, the narrative. Do you know what I mean? So... depth of the squad on the right side centre-back, Chalobah's primary position, has largely amassed since he was given a contract extension in November 2022. That's a long contract. It runs to 2028 with an option to extend for a further year. That decision raised eyebrows, seeing as his existing deal was on 2026. That was strange, wasn't it? He was on a long contract. He very, very soon after got another long contract. I wonder why. Because he wouldn't have accepted less money. Like, have a new contract on less money. Okay. Very strange. Chalobah held onto the ambition that ever since, turning down numerous offers to leave, of course including a £25 million bid from Nottingham Forest on the final day of the summer transfer window, and winning the trust of every Chelsea coach he's worked with. Losing the chance to do the same with Maresca would be a source of immense frustration. Yeah. But then again... Maresca himself said he made the decision. There's no transfer lined up. Chalobah has done nothing to encourage interest from other clubs this summer, and as such, a market is yet to develop. By leaving him out of the tour squad, Chelsea are seeking to create one. Tough. The optics are effectively exiling a homegrown player on a long-term contract who wants to stay and largely has performed well when given the opportunities. It doesn't look good, and this is, of course, the big story. It reinforces a sense among disaffected supporters that Chelsea's ownership, led by, of course, Clearlake Capital and Todd Boehly, view Cobham graduates primarily as an easy source of profit to help offset a recruitment strategy that has so far failed to maintain the club's high modern standards on the pitch. Twomey himself has often used that idea of front-loading pain for long-term gain. When does that long-term gain come in? But, I want to be fair here. We've bought loads of very talented and exciting players, and I'd be lying if I said I'm not excited about this. Of course, frustrating treatment, or people argue the treatment of Chalobah and Gallagher is sad, and the academy is in the midst of an unsettling, monumental transformation, of course, with Neil Bath and Jim Fraser leaving this summer. The narrative is disputed by the club's ownership, so this is the important part of the article here. So Chelsea unsurprisingly, have disputed that they're just flogging all the academy players for profit. They're saying that they point to Reece James and Levi Colwill and others as proof that elite academy talent will always be prized. To their credit, Reece James was a very early contract extension, and he was already amazing. They didn't, need to do much to be like, James is good, we're keeping him. But Levi Colwill, to their credit, they dug their heels in. Brighton, notably Liverpool, really wanted him. They were like, absolutely not. I think Bayern Munich was sniffing around Levi Colwill. They were like, no, he's elite. He's for the Chelsea team. So there is a little bit of money where their mouth is in terms of that. So Chalobah is simply not viewed as being in that tier. Sometimes it's not about being in that tier, it's about having a good squad player. And Stuart and Winstanley were not appointed to be influenced by emotion or sentimentality in their squad planning. Good businessmen, right? Look, I'm not saying they're right by doing this. I feel like there needs to be room for both. But they will argue we're just doing our job well, in their eyes. Chalobah cannot be sold anywhere against his wishes, and he will take his time assessing his options. He will have suitors, of course, though Chelsea sending such a clear signal that he is surplus to requirements is unlikely to boost his transfer value. He is unquestionably a good Premier League player, a popular teammate, and a model professional. At the very least, the type of footballer that most top-flight clubs in Europe want in their squads. Yeah, look, he's good. I think he'd start for Man United. I don't think he'd start for Man City. I don't necessarily think he'd start for like Arsenal at the moment, but I think, yeah, there's loads of clubs he'd start for. I understand to a degree that he's not. I do think Levi Colwill's better. I think Wesley Fofana's better. I don't think the Monaco boys are better, but maybe there's a profiling thing there that they prefer. It's sad to see him go, but I'm just burnt out with this sentimentality thing. I wish him all the best. My preference is Chelsea win. And I've got no option at the moment with all this investment in money and time and hires and infrastructure to just for the moment trust the process, and hopefully we can win some football matches and we see it pay dividends. And this front-loaded pain, long-term gain, we are into the gain segment soon. Let me know what you think. Do you believe them when they say if you're good enough, if you're top elite tier, academy players will make it at Chelsea? Comment down below on that. But Twumi and also Mario Cortegana has written about this bid for a goalkeeper. So Chelsea are close to agreeing a deal to Villarreal's Philip Jörgensen. Of course, Villarreal, La Liga club, goalkeeper. The clubs are discussing a fee between £20 million and £25 million for the Denmark under-21 international. I suppose he's got to get Schmeichel out of the way if he's going to be the top dog for Denmark. 25 million quid. Who has a 45 million pound release clause? Well, it's at least 20 million pounds less. I've seen Alex Goldberg talk about this. He doesn't think he's necessarily great. Apparently, he's got very good short passing stats, like 99% short passes. Which, of course, if you play for Maresca's football, you need to. When the fullback inverts in the back three, the goalkeeper joins the back three and makes a back four, and he needs to do short passing. Makes sense there, right? He's also had interest from Marseille, of course, that makes sense. Passing goalkeeper with De Zerbi there, with the Liga club. The 22-year-old's the preference for a summer transfer. It would be nice to keep stitching up De Zerbi, even out of Brighton. He's made 44 first-team appearances for Villarreal and established himself as the club's number one goalkeeper last season. They finished 8th in La Liga. God, it's got Kepa written all over it again, isn't it? The Athletic reported earlier this week that Chelsea have established Jörgensen as their primary goalkeeper target, despite him only signing a new 5-year contract with Villarreal last month. Chelsea goalkeeper Georgi Petrovic, meanwhile, is emerging as a surprise candidate to be sold only 1 year after his arrival from MLS side New England Revolution. The Serbia international has made 31 first-team appearances for Chelsea after coming in, of course, following Rob Sanchez's injury. He became number one. Sanchez, Bettinelli and Bergstrom are other goalkeepers in Maresca's first-team squad, while Kepa has returned to the club following a season-long spell at Real Madrid. Kepa's, of course, not on the tour. He's training with the development team. He'll go. Bergstrom, I think, will get a loan. Bettinelli will remain number 3. Sanchez will be 1-2 with the new goalkeeper. Jörgensen has capped several times for Sweden at the youth level, under 17s and under 21s, and is essentially trending in a positive direction. To be honest, man, I reserve judgment on him. Look, you guys have heard me speak about goalkeeper multiple times. I feel like it needs to be a real big character that inspires confidence in front of them. And if they do that and inspire confidence in front of them, the defence will play better because they got this guy behind them. And then the midfielders will play better because the defence has come. You know, it bleeds up the pitch is very, very important. But look, I get it. Where are these goalkeepers? You know, I'm a bit old school. I quite like Emi Martinez. I think, you know, he'll be good. A big character, wins Copa Americas and World Cups and FA Cups and, you know, etc. But if we're playing a particular niche style of football and you really need a goalkeeper to do something particular to make the philosophy and idea work, and he's the guy to do it, fine. Do you know what I mean? Let's all reserve judgment until we see these footballers play. I didn't really know who Malagusto was until we signed him, so his guy could be the truth, even though what Goldberg's saying on the X and his playback channel isn't inspiring me, but suited for the style of football apparently. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I do hope to see you back here very soon on Football Therapy. Peace.